Man, this is crazy. There is a petition on change.org right now with 50,000 plus signatures to deport Nicki Minaj's ass back to Trinidad, all because she went on Turning Point and proclaimed her love for Donald Trump. Ain't that something? That is crazy.
They are on her head. Over 100,000 signatures have been gathered to get her up out of here. And the worst part, it seems that the first petition, the one that has over 75,000 signatures, may have been started by Barb. Yeah, Barb. Nicki's fan club. Yeah.
Over 70,000 people want Nicki Minaj out of America. After praising President Trump at a conservative conference just days ago, multiple petitions calling for her removal have gone viral.
Nicki Minaj has come across to, I think, a lot of us in the culture as so nasty. When we hear her say, address people, she's really talking so vile. When Nicki comes out here and she's smiling and she's doing these harmless gestures, I don't even think of Nicki like that anymore. That was early Nicki, who was just she's just almost like this Barbie that's just positive. Now I feel like Nicki's kind of salty and bitter, and it's very different.
On December 21st, the Queen of Rap made a surprise appearance at Turning Point USA's America Fest in Phoenix, Arizona. She sat down with Erica Kirk, praised the Trump administration, and went after California Governor Gavin Newsom. Within hours, the backlash exploded across social media. Former fans launched petitions on change.org demanding immigration authorities review her status and send her back to Trinidad.
Now, apparently the Barbs are losing their they are crashing out. Here we go. So this is the Barbs. They had the spaces to talk about what was going on. And here we go. They're all divided because they don't know what to really think. Some people have an independent perspective on some of this political stuff, and some of them probably don't want their favorite artists getting into politics, much less supporting somebody that they might not support.
This situation involves Nicki Minaj, one of the biggest names in hip-hop for over a decade, suddenly finding herself at the center of a political storm that has her own fan base turning against her. The Barbs who defended her through everything are now some of the loudest voices calling for her removal from the country. This goes way deeper than what you saw on social media. From her appearance at a major conservative conference to the citizenship questions that have surfaced, the story shows how fast things can change when you mix celebrity, politics, and immigration status. Here's what actually went down. Let me break down the appearance, the backlash, the petitions, and what this means for one of hip-hop's biggest artists. Let's start from the beginning.
I have the utmost respect and admiration for our president. This administration is full of people with heart and soul. And they make me proud of them.
To understand this, you gotta know where Nicki Minaj really comes from and how she got here. Onika Tanya Mirage, known worldwide as Nicki Minaj, was born in Trinidad and Tobago on December 8, 1982. At 5 years old, she came to the United States. Back in 2018, during the Trump administration's family separation policy at the border, Minaj opened up about her own immigration story on Instagram. She wrote that she came to this country as someone without legal status at age 5. She said she couldn't imagine being in a strange place and having her parents stripped away from her at that age. That 2018 statement hit different because Minaj was speaking out against Trump's immigration policies back then.
But Donald Trump, he gets to hang out with young and have 50 different wives and just be cool.
Minaj, who was born Onika Tanya Mirage in Trinidad and Tobago in December 1982, has been open about coming to the United States as an undocumented child. In an emotional social media post in 2018, she called out the separation of families at the border during Trump's first administration, saying, quote, "This is so scary to me. Please stop this."
She was critical of the administration, sympathetic to immigrant families, and used her platform to advocate for people facing situations similar to what she experienced as a child.
You have any thoughts on Donald Trump?
No thoughts. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I voted for him actually.
Oh yeah? What do you like about him?
I wanted to bring the job back to America.
And what country are you from?
From America.
Fast forward 7 years, and that same person is praising Trump on stage at a conservative conference. The shift caught everyone off guard.
He's given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and to win and to do it with your head held high and your integrity intact.
What makes this situation even more complicated is that Minaj admitted during a TikTok live session in September 2024 that she's not a United States citizen.
The only thing is, I'm not a citizen of America. Isn't that crazy? Think that with the millions of dollars that I've paid in taxes to this country, that I would have been given an honorary citizenship many, many, many thousands of years ago, Landale.
She said those exact words on camera. During the live stream, she told her fans that despite being born on the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago, she's been in the States for many years. According to Minaj, with the millions of dollars she's paid in taxes to this country, she should have been given honorary citizenship thousands of years ago. That's her words, not mine. The admission surprised a lot of people who assumed after decades in America and one of the most successful rap careers ever, she would have become a citizen by now. But according to multiple outlets, including Vibe, Rolling Out, and iHeartRadio, Minaj confirmed she remains a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. She's likely a lawful permanent resident, probably holding a green card which allows her to live and work in the U.S. indefinitely without being a citizen. But before we get into the political stuff, let's talk about who Nicki Minaj is in hip-hop. She's not just another rapper. She's one of the most influential female artists in the genre's history. From her breakout mixtapes in the late 2000s to hits like Super Bass, Anaconda, and Starships, Minaj has dominated charts for over 15 years. She's been nominated for 12 Grammy Awards. She's sold millions of albums. She's influenced an entire generation of female rappers who came after her. The Barbs, her fan base, are some of the most dedicated and protective fans. In music, they've defended her through beef with other rappers, industry drama, personal controversies, and everything in between. For years, if you came for Nicki, you had to deal with the Barbs. That's been the dynamic since she blew up, but now many of those same fans are the ones signing petitions to have her removed from the country. There's also the Kenneth Petty situation. Minaj married Kenneth Petty in 2019, and by that time, fans already knew he was a registered offender. According to People magazine and confirmed by Snopes, Petty was convicted in 1995 of attempted first-degree violation involving a 16-year-old girl when he was also 16. He served about 4.5 years and has been required to register as an offender whenever he moves. In 2022, according to the BBC and NBC News, Petty was sentenced to 1 year of house arrest and 3 years probation for failing to register when he moved to California with Minaj. The judge also ordered him to pay a $55,000 fine. That situation has followed Minaj throughout her marriage, with critics constantly bringing up her decision to defend her husband despite his criminal history. One of the Change.org petitions calling for her removal specifically mentions Petty. The petition, with over 56,000 signatures, references her marriage to him and claims she's defended him while allegedly intimidating victims. According to the New York Times from August 2021, Minaj and Petty were sued by a woman who accused them of harassment related to the 1995 case. Now, this is when things really popped off. On Sunday, December 21st, 2025, Nicki Minaj walked onto the stage at Turning Point USA's America Fest in Phoenix, Arizona. This wasn't a music festival. This wasn't a hip-hop event. This was the largest conservative conference in the country, and she was the surprise guest. According to Newsweek and The Hill, Minaj sat down with Erica Kirk, the CEO of Turning Point USA and widow of Charlie Kirk. For those who don't know, Charlie Kirk was a prominent conservative activist who was fatally shot at Utah Valley University on September 10, 2025. He was speaking at an outdoor event when he was taken down by a single round. Erica has taken over the organization since then, and America Fest was one of her first major events as CEO. The conversation covered multiple topics. Minaj talked about her Christian faith, about feeling pushed around, about finally speaking her mind. She praised President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, calling them amazing role models. She said Trump had given so many people hope that there's a chance to beat the bad guys and win with your integrity intact. But where things got really heated was when she went after California Governor Gavin Newsom. According to The Hill and Complex, Minaj read some of her own tweets about Newsom while Kirk laughed. She told him to get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind because he wasn't going to win any presidential race. She called him Newscum, a nickname Trump has used for the governor in the past. She told him to tread lightly. The context matters here. According to CBS Atlanta and multiple other outlets, Minaj criticized Newsom over his support for health care for transgender minors. She told the crowd that boys should be boys, and there's nothing wrong with being a boy. That statement immediately drew backlash from LGBTQ+ advocates and civil rights groups who said her comments carried clear undertones against transgender people. There was also an awkward moment that that went viral. While discussing male role models, Minaj briefly referred to J.D. Vance as the individual who takes people out. She paused immediately when she realized what she said, especially since Charlie Kirk had been fatally shot just 3 months earlier. The audience murmured. Erica Kirk appeared to wipe a tear from her eye. It was uncomfortable, but they moved on quickly. According to Billboard and The Hollywood Reporter, during the interview, Minaj also said the current administration is full of people with heart and soul who make her proud. She said both Trump and Vance have an uncanny ability to relate to the American people. She called them politicians who haven't lost touch with the world. The moment hit social media like a bomb. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the platforms exploded with reactions. Former fans were posting screenshots of themselves deleting her music. People who had defended Minaj for years were expressing shock and betrayal. The LGBTQ+ community, which had been a huge part of her fan base, felt especially hurt by her comments about boys being boys and her criticism of transgender healthcare. According to Vanity Fair and Al Jazeera, the appearance marked what many are calling Minaj's formal coming out party as a conservative cultural commentator. This wasn't just an artist expressing personal political views. This was a calculated appearance at the biggest conservative gathering in the country, alongside major Republican figures, with cameras rolling and the whole thing designed to make a statement. The hip-hop community and fan base went into overdrive when the news broke. Within hours of the America Fest appearance, according to Complex and XXL magazine, petitions started appearing on Change.org calling for Minaj to be sent back to Trinidad. The main petition, titled Deport Nicki Minaj Back to Trinidad, was started by someone named Tristan Hamilton. According to Newsweek, the petition quickly gained traction across social media platforms. The petition's language is direct. It says that for those who watched Nicki rise as a beacon of hope, her shift in values feels personal. It claims her public platform carries weight and responsibility, and her recent statements contrast sharply with the solidarity she once showed. The petition argues that Minaj's status in the United States is not based on citizenship, which raises questions about her continued presence despite what they call divisive actions and statements. As of press time, according to TMZ, Fox News Radio, and multiple other outlets, the main petition has surpassed 70,000 signatures. That's not a small number. That's a massive movement of people who want immigration authorities to review her case. But there's actually more than one petition. According to XXL magazine and Complex, multiple petitions have been launched with the same goal, and combined they've reached over 100,000 signatures. One petition that was started back in July 2025, according to Yahoo and The Mirror, now has over 56,000 signatures. That one focused more on her marriage to Kenneth Petty and alleged harassment. The reactions went beyond just fan petitions. According to CBS Atlanta and The Griot, Bernice King, CEO of the King Center and daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., issued a pointed response on social media. While she didn't name Minaj directly, King's message came after Vice President Vance declared at the conference that you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. King wrote that in her 62 years, she doesn't recall white people ever having to apologize for being white in America. She went on to say, the real issue is the nation's reluctance to honestly reckon with its historical advantages, accountability, and responsibility. Some people in the hip-hop community defended Minaj's right to express her political views. Amber Rose, according to entertainment outlets, jumped to Minaj's defense, saying she didn't know why people twisted their words. But the overwhelming response, especially from former fans and LGBTQ+ advocates, was negative. The pressure got intense fast. According to Billboard and Yahoo Entertainment, as of December 24th, Minaj had deactivated her Instagram account. Visitors to her page saw the message, "Sorry, this page isn't available." This wasn't the first time she's deleted her Instagram. According to reports, she did the same thing back in October 2024. But the timing, right after America Fest, and the backlash made this deactivation feel different. Industry figures stayed mostly quiet. There weren't a lot of other major artists publicly supporting or condemning her. The silence from her peers was noticeable. In hip-hop, where artists usually speak up immediately about everything, nobody wanted to touch this situation publicly. But that's not even the craziest part. The immediate consequences of Minaj's America Fest appearance went beyond just petitions and social media backlash. According to legal experts and multiple news outlets, including Yahoo and Newsweek, these petitions don't actually have legal weight. Change.org petitions can raise awareness and apply public pressure, but they can't force government action. Immigration authorities don't review cases just because an online petition gets signatures. The Department of Homeland Security would need actual legal grounds to begin removal proceedings. But the petitions accomplished something else. They showed how dramatically public opinion about Minaj shifted in just a few days. According to Britain Report and multiple entertainment outlets, the reaction to America Fest has been immediate and sharply divided. The Barbs, her core fan base, split down the middle. Some remained loyal, defending her right to express political views and adopting her talking points. Others felt betrayed and abandoned the fan base entirely. The career implications are real. According to industry observers cited by Britain Report, Minaj's next music release will be the real test. She teased Pink Friday 3rd earlier in 2024, but her current public persona might affect how radio stations, streaming services, and corporate partners approach her music. Hip-hop has always had a complex relationship with politics, but explicitly aligning with conservative figures at a major Republican event crosses lines that other mainstream rap artists haven't crossed. Streaming numbers tell part of the story. In the days following America Fest, social media was flooded with screenshots of people removing Minaj's music from their playlists. Whether that translates to actual drops in streams remains to be seen, but the optics are bad. Former fans making public displays of rejecting her music creates a narrative that's hard to overcome. The feud with Gavin Newsom escalated after America Fest. According to multiple outlets, Newsom's social media account posted a clip set to Megan Thee Stallion's track Hiss, which is famously interpreted as directed at Minaj. That move was calculated. Newsom used Minaj's rival's music to clap back at her publicly. The layers of that response show how political and cultural beef merged into one complicated situation. There's also the business angle nobody's really talking about loud enough. Minaj has endorsement deals, partnerships, and business ventures that rely on her public image. Corporate America doesn't like controversy, especially political controversy that alienates large parts of a consumer base. According to business analysts, brands will be watching closely to see if the backlash dies down or if it becomes a permanent shift in how people view her. Here's what most people missed in all the headlines about the petitions. The citizenship question is more complex than it seems. According to legal experts and immigration specialists, Minaj is almost certainly a lawful permanent resident with a green card. That status allows her to live and work in the United States indefinitely without becoming a citizen. She pays taxes, owns property, runs businesses, all legally under that status. But here's where it gets interesting. Green card holders can be removed from the United States under certain circumstances. According to immigration law outlined by legal experts, grounds for removal include serious violations, certain patterns of behavior, or failing to maintain residency requirements. Simply having unpopular political views isn't grounds for removal. Neither is appearing at conservative conferences or praising political figures. What's fascinating about this situation is how it reveals contradictions in political positions. According to multiple social media commentators, there's irony in Minaj supporting an administration known for strict policies on people without legal status while not being a citizen herself. During Trump's first term, she spoke out against family separations at the border and shared her own story of coming here without legal status as a child. Now, she's praising the same administration that implemented those policies. The Nigeria situation adds another layer. According to Fox News and Al Jazeera, Minaj spoke at the United Nations in November 2025 about what she characterized as harm done to Christians in Nigeria. She teamed up with the Trump administration on that issue, which is how this whole political shift started. President Trump had posted about violence against Christians in Nigeria, and Minaj publicly thanked him. That moment was the beginning of her visible alignment with the administration. The Trump administration noticed. According to Billboard and PBS, Vice President J.D. Vance praised Minaj on social media after America Fest. He posted on X that she said something profound about wanting little black girls to think they're beautiful without putting down girls with blonde hair and blue eyes. Vance's public endorsement showed the administration views Minaj as valuable to their cultural messaging. For context, having major hip-hop artists publicly align with Republican politics is rare. There have been a few, but mainstream artists with Minaj's level of fame and influence typically don't appear at events like America Fest. The Trump campaign and administration have been working to make inroads with black voters, especially men, and having someone like Minaj on stage helps that effort. The LGBTQ+ community's response has been particularly strong. According to CBS Atlanta and advocacy organizations, Minaj's comments about boys being boys and her criticism of healthcare for transgender youth directly contradicted years of her positioning herself as an ally. Many queer fans, especially queer Black and Latinx fans, had supported her through everything. Now they feel she's aligned herself with rhetoric and policies that actively harm their communities. One commenter on the Change.org petition, according to Yahoo Entertainment, wrote that as an Afro-Latina who grew up listening to Nicki's music and feeling empowered, she's appalled by recent claims. She said she stopped being a Barb long ago due to various issues, but now, more than ever, feels Nicki has got to go. That sentiment appeared repeatedly in comments across social media platforms. So that's where we're at with this whole situation. As of January 1st, 2026, the petitions continue to gain signatures daily. The main petition petition calling for her removal has surpassed 70,000 signatures and shows no signs of slowing down. According to Change.org's tracking, the petition is getting thousands of new signatures every day as the story spreads beyond hip-hop circles into mainstream news. Minaj's Instagram remains deactivated. She hasn't made any public statement addressing the backlash directly. Her X account is still active, but she hasn't tweeted since before the America Fest appearance. The silence from her side is notable. In the past, Minaj has been quick to clap back at critics and defend herself. This time, she's staying quiet. From a legal standpoint, according to immigration lawyers and experts, there's virtually no chance these petitions result in actual removal proceedings. The Department of Homeland Security doesn't respond to online petitions, and Minaj hasn't done anything that would trigger removal under immigration law. She's a lawful permanent resident who pays taxes, owns property, and has lived here for decades. Political speech, even controversial political speech, is protected, but the damage to her reputation and fan base is real. According to entertainment industry analysts cited by various outlets, the bigger question is how this affects her music career moving forward. Will radio stations continue playing her music with the same frequency? Will streaming playlists feature her as prominently? Will corporate sponsors continue partnerships? Those are business decisions that get made behind closed doors, but public backlash influences them. The hip-hop media has been covering this extensively. Blogs, podcasts, radio shows, everyone's talking about it. But there's been a notable lack of other major artists publicly weighing in. Drake hasn't said anything. Lil Wayne hasn't commented. Other major figures in her circle have stayed quiet. That silence suggests people don't want to touch this topic publicly because it's too divisive. Future music releases will be telling. If Minaj drops Pink Friday through in 2026, the reception will show whether her fan base has actually abandoned her or if the online backlash is louder than the reality. Sales numbers, streaming numbers, and chart performance will reveal the true commercial impact of her political pivot. On the flip side, Minaj might gain new supporters from conservative circles. Amber Rose defended her publicly. Some conservative commentators praised her courage for speaking at America Fest. There's a possibility she's calculating that gaining conservative fans could offset losing progressive ones. That would be a massive strategic shift for a hip-hop artist, but it's not impossible. The Trinidad government hasn't commented on the petitions or the situation. There's been no official response from Trinidad and Tobago authorities about the calls for her return. For her home country, having one of their most famous exports in this kind of controversy probably isn't something they want to address publicly. Keep your eyes on several things moving forward. First, whether Minaj breaks her silence and addresses the backlash directly. Second, if any other major artists in hip-hop publicly support or condemn her position. Third, how her next music release performs commercially. And fourth, whether she continues appearing at conservative events or if America Fest was a one-time thing. The bigger picture here shows how celebrity, politics, and immigration intersect in 2026. Minaj's situation reveals tensions within hip-hop between artistic freedom, political expression, and fan base expectations. It also highlights how immigration status, even for wealthy, famous people, remains a pressure point in American political discourse. For the LGBTQ+ community, this represents another moment of feeling abandoned by mainstream figures who previously positioned themselves as allies. For conservative commentators, it represents a cultural victory in bringing a major hip-hop artist into their movement. For immigration advocates, it shows the complexity of immigration politics when someone without citizenship expresses controversial political views. Minaj is at a crossroads. She's no longer just a rapper. She's become a political lightning rod. The immediate fallout from America Fest and the petitions will dominate headlines for weeks. The long-term impact on her career, her legacy, and her relationship with the hip-hop community remains to be seen. What started as a surprise appearance at a conservative conference turned into a massive cultural moment that's still unfolding. The petitions won't lead to her actual removal, but they've accomplished something more significant. They've shown that public opinion can shift dramatically and quickly, and that fame and success don't protect you from consequences when you take political stances that alienate your core supporters. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Nicki Minaj's appearance at America Fest? Do artists have the right to express whatever political views they want, or do they owe loyalty to communities that supported them? How do you think this affects her career long-term? Should her immigration status even be part of this conversation? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know where you stand on this. If this breakdown gave you the full story on the Nicki Minaj situation and kept it real from start to finish, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell too so you don't miss any updates on this situation as it develops. Trust me, there's going to be more to this story, and you'll want to be here when the next chapter drops. Share this video with anyone who's been following the petitions or anyone who needs to understand what really went down. The more people who who know the full story, the better the conversations we can have about it. And if you want to see more deep dives like this on major hip-hop stories, let me know in the comments what situations you want me to break down next. I'm here to give you the facts without the fluff, and your support keeps this going. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.